What has strangely appalled me about the way the Indrani Mukherjee case has been treated in the media is the lynch mob mentality. From day one, there was this attitude, there was this aggression towards her, and I'm not holding a candle in her support, although I know her very well, that just get her at any cost. There were lady lawyers, and I was in the studios in some of the top TV channels where they went out and said that, she should be hanged. This happened on a couple of days ago when still there was absolutely no confession. There was nothing. The process of indictment was still not on. She had just been freshly arrested. But the mob mentality was that she was diabolical. I was asked a couple of questions by certain anchors that we've heard, we've got to know, we've got information that she was diabolical. So was she diabolical? What is one supposed to answer to that? Having covered many crime stories in the past as a reporter, I have one basic conclusion, which is that when there is an allegation, it is an alleged case, you have to wait till the police files a charge sheet. They need around 90 days. They have that window to do that. So let's wait till then. Strangely, the Mumbai police has been hammered quite a bit by certain anchors sitting in certain channels, and one of them is well known, and there is this completely, the person pulls out all the stops on prime time to say that the Mumbai police has messed up on A, B, C, D, E, there is no trust, they are not still interrogating Peter, and why isn't Peter not being interrogated, why shouldn't he have not been hauled up earlier? And even on that panel, there were a couple of sane voices, and two of them happened to be ex-top cops who said that the police has a certain method. There is a method in which they investigate, they take their time, they look at the evidence, they confront. There were certain selective leaks which were made in this case, which has also happened in the past. So why hammer the police before the charge sheet has been filed? Rakesh Maria was also targeted, that why is a police commissioner sitting for 9 to 10 hours with certain people in this Indrani murder case. So without any proper reasoning, without any reason for having a contrary opinion, the Mumbai police was blasted on many counts to shreds, which I thought was highly unfair. One should have waited for the entire process to have been completed before jumping or rushing to any conclusion. It is correct to assume that the Indian media, particularly most of our TV anchors, are now looking at the American style of operation, where certain TV networks take a stand that so-and-so is guilty from day one, go all out, pull out all the stops, prop up the evidence if it is not happening according to them. So there is like a parallel court, a parallel jury which is in operation, and there is absolutely no sense of balance, which is what has happened in this case too. There are one or two networks which pulled out all the stops to nail certain people in this case, and that kind of mob mentality is on. The unfortunate part is that how many people truly understand the process in which forensics does their job, in which police investigations are held, in which police teams carry out what they are supposed to do, investigations are held. For example, Peter Mukherjee, a lot of hue and cry was raised as to why Peter was not interrogated earlier. Probably one of the reasons could be that the Mumbai police was looking at piecing all the other relevant evidence so that when they confront Peter with certain evidences that they would have it in writing from Peter that these were the reasons, according to him, as to why he never doubted his wife Indrani. And by that time, they would have corroborative evidence from Indrani herself, from other people, so that there could be a nice way of confronting Peter, for example, as to whether this is right or wrong, and then rushing towards a judgment, and then obviously filing the charge sheet. But here, a lot of things have been prejudged. There is a lot of hunger among certain people to just nail them at any cost. Media, by and large, has been more responsible, I feel, than television. I have myself worked several years in the print media. There, the reporters do take their time to corroborate certain information that they are getting. There are selective leaks from the police, but like a good journalist from print, certain calls are made to others. Maybe in this frenetic rush of TV journalism, any reporter who gets something stands up and then boom, it's breaking news. 10 minutes later, the whole thing may be retracted, but then who cares? So if one were to make an apple-to-apple comparison, yes, the print media has been quite more responsible than TV. This case is not over yet, while a charge sheet is still being awaited, which will take time, and the case will then go to court and it will play out till a final conviction is arrived at. Let us talk about the two famous international cases. One was the O.J. Simpson trial in the US. A lot of us have heard about it, and the famous player, NFL player, he was alleged to have murdered his own ex-wife Nicole Simpson, and there was another guy called Ronald Goodman, and they were both butchered with knives, and those pictures are still can be seen on the internet, and it's a horrific sight. There was a lot of evidence against O.J. Simpson, but what happened? He got in four of the top lawyers then in the United States. They created a scenario from the available evidence that there was no way that you could prove that O.J. Simpson himself had committed the murder. The prosecuting attorney could not match up to the firepower of these defense attorneys. In the end, O.J. Simpson was let out, and there was a humongous hue and cry in the United States. It was one of the first major televised trials. There was a lot of opinion floating around in the American media that O.J. Simpson is the murderer, yet he is let out. Cut to the recent past, you have Oscar Pistorius, the Blade Runner in South Africa, who doesn't have his legs, and who would wear these blades to compete in the Olympics, was a tremendous sprinter. Till what happened? He shot to death his own girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, a top model. Riva hid behind the door of the bathroom and kept shouting at night, and from available reports, Oscar Pistorius shot through the door, killing her instantly. Oscar Pistorius said that he thought there was a burglar inside, and in self-defense, he shot at her. He shot through the door. Riva Steenkamp's family said that they were on the verge of breaking up, and Riva had complained to her own parents that she was not feeling safe in Oscar Pistorius' house. All that was a different story. When it again came to the defense attorney versus the prosecuting attorney, there was no way of indicting Oscar Pistorius. The point here is Oscar Pistorius did fire the shots, yet he would soon be out of jail because there was no way of ensuring that it was a premeditated murder. So even in Indrani Mukherjee's case, one does not know what the final verdict will be.